What up, y'all? It's your girl Ebony, and I'm back with another one. How's everybody doing today? Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. As you can see, we've got a whole bunch of goodies here on this table in front of me. I have got all 7 of the Juvia's Place minis. All right, yeah, you heard me, y'all heard me, and you see it, all 7. Your girl went ahead and picked up the newest minis, which are the mauves, the sweet pinks, and the taupes, okay? I went ahead and snagged them, y'all. I know for any of those of you guys who have been watching me, you guys already know that I said that I was gonna wait on these and I wasn't gonna jump the gun right away, but I lied, okay? I lied. I caved and I totally gave in and I purchased them. So now I've got all 7 of them. Couldn't be happier. And today we're gonna get into a little swatch party. I'm gonna swatch the new ones, and we're also gonna do some comparisons to the older ones. So I hope you guys are excited, because I know I am. But before we get into that, I just want to give a very special thank you and shout out to all of my new subscribers, as well as my existing ones. I thank you guys so much for subscribing, and I'm glad that you find me worthy enough to subscribe to, and that you guys keep coming back. So I hope that you continue to enjoy the content, all right? So let's get into this. But before we do, let me just remind all of you guys that if you have not, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for your girl, all right? Hit the notification bell too so you never miss an upload. Definitely leave this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you think of these new Juvia's Place minis. Are you interested in getting these or not? And don't forget to follow me, of course, on Instagram at EvieEv88, all right? Let's get into this. Guys, so the first one we're going to start out with today is the mauves. This is what she looks like on the outside. I absolutely love the packaging. It's the same as all of the packaging. And this is what she looks like on the inside. Absolutely gorgeous. When I first looked at this one online, I kind of had a feeling that this was going to be my least favorite one out of the 3, and to a certain extent it kind of is, because I'm not that huge into mauves, even though I love pinks. But there are some very special things going on with this palette that make it very unique, and I can definitely see myself falling in love with it. So let's get into some swatches. I have not touched these palettes at all previous to right now, so this is my first time doing swatches and all of that here with you guys. So let's get into it. So the first shade is this matte one right here. And I don't really even know how to describe this shade. I'm not really entirely sure. So this is definitely, that's not coming out too great. This is definitely like a dusty mauve. I feel like it almost has like some grayish brown tones in it. Pretty unique. Not a color that I normally see myself gravitating towards. The second shade is this one right in the middle here. This is like a dusty mauve pink, I would like to describe it as. These are pretty dry as far as the formula is concerned, which I feel is typical of Juvia's Place, but they're very smooth and buildable at the same time. So there's that one. Yeah, let me build it up a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. That one definitely looks brighter on my skin than I initially thought it would, just looking at it in the palette, okay? So now we're gonna go to this third one, which is indeed the darkest shade in the palette. And this one is definitely more of like a berry shade, just like a deep burgundy berry. Right? And these are taking a little bit of like building up, but that's okay. We all know that Juvia's Place pigmentation is great, so that's what that one looks like. This next shade is definitely what I would describe as a dusty mauve. It kind of reminds me of this one right here, but a little bit lighter. Definitely a lot lighter. Ooh, this one is interesting. It has almost like a peachy tone to it. Didn't really expect that. Let's build this one up a little bit more. So far, this one is probably like my least favorite shade. Although it is pretty, but it is a little bit, tad bit dusty. But she cute or whatever. So that was all of the mattes. There's 4 mattes in this particular palette. And now we're gonna move on to the shimmers, which there's 2 of those. So this one, smack dab in the middle, looks like a very special shade. Oh, and it is. Ooh, now that is the shade that makes this palette the most exciting, in my opinion. That is a very pretty, like green, pink, purpley duochrome. Let's get a little bit more. That shade to me just totally makes the whole entire palette, honestly. I just love it. Love it. And last but not least, we have this mid-toned shimmer here. This one looks like more of a satin than like a really, you know, in-your-face shimmer, and it indeed is. We're gonna have to build this one up quite a bit. Yeah, not my favorite. It's very pretty, but it's just like a regular satiny purpley pink shade. I'm gonna build that up a little bit more. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see all 6 of those. It is a pretty color scheme. Like I said, the star of the show is definitely this one right here. I love it. It's what makes the palette for me. And once they're all swatched out and you get to see them, it is actually really pretty. I can see myself using this more as a face palette than on my eyes, and I think I would enjoy it a lot more as a face palette than using it on my eyes. But you know, that's what I love about Juvia's Place, multi-purpose. So that was the mauves. Now we're gonna move on to the sweet pinks. Now we have the sweet pinks, which honestly I think might be my favorite out of the 3 new ones. Oh my God, look at that. This is definitely a pink lover's dream. All of these colors are so bright and fun. I think my favorite shade, just looking at it, is this really pretty corally pink. So let's get into these swatches, okay? Now this one has an even number of shimmers and mattes. So there's 3 mattes and 3 shimmers in this one. So we're gonna start out with the very first shade, which is that very beautiful shimmer. Excuse me guys, I'm trying to adjust my arm here so that it's more comfortable, because that last watch session was a little rough. My arm was kind of hurting. So this one is like a really pretty, like strawberry milk pink, I guess I would describe it as. I don't really know. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Gorgeous. Juvia's Place shimmers are just some of my favorite. That's just like a really pretty shimmery mid-tone pink. The glitter and the sparkle that is coming off of that is just amazing. It just gives me like princess vibes. Love it. Now this next one, I would like to describe it as a bubblegum pink, but it's more of like a deeper, more neon-y type of pink. Yes, yes. These colors are so gorgeous. So pretty. Let's move on to the next shimmer. It's a very pretty pinky champagne. Would make a very nice inner corner highlight or brow bone highlight shade for me. And this one is definitely more of like a satiny shade too. This one, if you guys can tell, is like a lot more glittery, a lot more, you know, Chappelle. And this one is just like a regular like satiny shimmer, but it still is quite impactful and swatched out really nice. Shimmers are really buttery and smooth. I feel like this one is swatching a little bit better than the mauves, to be honest. Especially the mattes. The mattes felt a little bit more dry in the mauves palette than they do in this one. These ones just, so far, I feel a little bit more buttery and smooth and creamy. So let's move on. This one right here is like a strawberry milk type of shade, but in a matte form, a matte version. That's what I would describe it as. This one's gonna take a little bit of building up, but this one's cute too. This one is like a corally pink. Like I said, strawberry milkshake. Ugh, the pigmentation. I feel like this palette, like the shades, the mattes in this palette are more pigmented than the mauves too. I don't know why. Now this next one is very, very exciting too. Super duper. It has the same formula as that very first shimmer that we swatched. It's just a deeper shade of pink. I really, really like these glittery, like super foiled metallic-y ones. They are so pretty. Yes. This just gives me Barbie vibes, like for real. I just absolutely love the color scheme of this. Do you see how pretty those are? Like even though this is a satin, it still stands out and it's still gorgeous. I love it, love it. So now the very last shade, move my arm a little bit, is this one right here, this really like neon-y coral. And this is one of my favorite shades just looking at the palette. So let's see how it swatches. It feels very smooth. A little dry. The formula's a little dry on these mattes. Take a little building up, but they're still very pigmented and beautiful. And yes, I love that shade too. I just love this one as a whole. I do think that so far this is definitely my favorite out of the three. It is so cute. You definitely have no choice but to get, you know, the pinkest of the pink look with this palette, but whatever you do with it, it's gonna be bright, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be gorgeous. Love it. Love it. Let me know what you guys think of this one. So this is the Sweet Pinks, all 6 shades swatched out. Now let's move on to what I feel is the most unique one out of this collection, which is the taupes. All right, last but not least, we have the taupes. And this one was by far the most unique one in my opinion in the whole entire collection, and the one that really made me say, ooh, that's different. And this is what she looks like on the inside. The colors are very, very, very cool toned. And I must say that I do like this one a lot, even more so than the mauves, to be honest. And I feel like from the videos that I've seen, it actually looks quite good on dark skin. So let's swatch it, shall we? All right, so the first shade definitely reminds me of like a champagne-y, beigey gold, but it looks a little bit taupey, like with a little bit of a cool tone to it. And this one is definitely like more of a satiny, shimmery shade once again. And this one has an even number of shimmers and mattes as well, just like the Sweet Pinks. And yeah, this is like a cool toned, creamy beige, but it has some warmth in it too, which is probably why it looks so good on deeper skin tones. I think all of these shades, even though they're pretty cool, they do have a bit of warmth to them as well. So that's the first one. The second one is definitely one of those more glittery shades like the ones in the Sweet Pinks. And this one looks like a gunmetal type of shade. This one's very, very, very pretty and sparkly like the others. Let's see if I can get that to swatch a little bit better. I did just put some lotion on because I noticed that my hands were a little ashy for the last 2 takes, so that could be why it's not swatching the greatest. All right, but there's that one. Very, very glittery, very pretty. It almost has like a purpley kind of tone to it. I think it will look very, very good paired with the violets. Now let's go into this first matte. This is just kind of like a tan, I don't know how to describe this, like a camel shade. Yeah. For me, I could definitely use this as like a brow bone highlight. So yeah, it's just like a camel-y bone shade, a little bit darker than a bone shade. But for me, like I said, it would be a very good brow bone highlight. So there's that one. Now, the next matte that we have is kind of along the same lines as the first one that we swatched, but it's a little bit deeper. Kind of almost reminds me of some coffee. Yeah, it's a little bit deeper and a little bit more cool toned. It's like a sandy type of shade on me. This would be another good brow bone highlight for me. So on my skin tone, there's not a huge difference between those two shades. Slight difference in tone, but I don't think it would make that much difference on the eyes, to be honest. So this next one is probably the most interesting matte out of them all, and it is like a really pretty like grayish brown taupey shade. I probably have a few shades like this in my collection, and I just love this shade. It comes in handy more than you would think. So yeah, that's definitely like a stone. It reminds me of like concrete or something. So that's what that one looks like. This palette definitely pulls very, 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 very cool on my skin tone. And last but not least, we have the last shimmer. This one definitely looks like a taupey brown to me. It's definitely more of a regular shimmer. It doesn't have all the glitters as this one does. Ooh, this is very, very pretty. It almost reminds me of like, I want to say it's like a coppery taupe. There's definitely a hint of like copper in there. That is really, really pretty. It's probably, besides this one, is probably my favorite out of the shimmers in this palette. So there you have it. This one is definitely very, very light, very, very cool toned. I'm glad that it's coming from Juvia's Place, because I think in a lot of other situations, these particular tones would look very ashy on my skin tone, and they almost lean that way. But because of the fact that Juvia's Place, you know, just knows how to cater to all skin tones, but particularly deeper ones, this palette actually works and it doesn't pull too ashy on me. So I'm excited to use this one. It's definitely different. I don't have anything quite like this in my collection. So there you have it, folks. That's all 6 shades from the Taupes palette. Now we're gonna move on and get into some of these comparisons. all 7 of the Juvia's Place mini palettes swatched out on your girl. Let me know what you guys think. I really enjoyed doing these swatches because it gave me an opportunity to see what all of these palettes look like swatched out, you know, next to each other. And I'm happy to say that there are pretty much like really no dupes between any of these palettes. So it makes me even happier to have all 7 of them, but I was gonna have all 7 of them regardless. So let me know, guys, if this helps you. Maybe there's some of you out there who have been thinking about picking up certain ones and you're just not sure. Maybe this helped you make that decision. Maybe you already had a few of them and you were thinking about picking up some more, but you just couldn't make up your mind. You know, there's so many different scenarios out there. So definitely leave me some comments down below and let me know what you thought of this video and if it helped you out in any way, shape, or form. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm about to get up out of here, but you know I love y'all, okay? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit the notification bell too so you never miss an upload. Leave me some comments and some thumbs up if you like this video. And don't forget to follow me at EvieEv88 on Instagram. All right, now I gotta go. But I'll catch y'all on the next one, okay? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Deuces.